Let's talk about flatworms. They are from the phylum Platyhelminths. They are freshwater scavengers, and one of the most interesting things about flatworms is how they mate. They are hermaphrodites, meaning they are both male and female.
In the wild, survival is everything, but some animals take weird to the next level. We're talking of frogs that play dead to fool predators, to tiny mammals whose love-lives lead to their own downfall. These aren't your average nature documentaries. These are jaw-dropping, rule-breaking, what-did-I-just-watch kind of behaviors. So buckle up, because these 20 animals don't just live in the wild. They rewrite the laws of nature as we know them. Flatworms penis fencing. Of all the strange behaviors in the wild, few are as unexpectedly intense or awkwardly fascinating as what flatworms do to settle reproduction. Forget courtship. These creatures duel. In the shallow ocean, two flatworms, ribbon-thin and translucent, glide toward each other. But this isn't a friendly swim. Each one wields a white, dagger-like organ. These hermaphrodites, equipped with both male and female parts, engage in what scientists call penis fencing. Their goal? Stab the other first and inseminate them, while avoiding getting stabbed in return. Why this strange standoff? In the world of flatworms, being dad is easier than being mom. Carrying eggs demands far more energy, so both competitors aim to win the male role. The fights can last up to an hour. Jabs leave behind sperm that fertilizes eggs inside the loser. Some flatworms even fake retreats, only to spin back and strike. A slippery mix of strategy and speed. It's survival of the fittest, with a bizarre twist. In the underwater realm, love and war are sometimes the same thing. And just when you thought things couldn't get weirder, wait until you meet the dog that sneezes to start a hunt. African wild dogs' sneezing strategy. In the wild, communication can mean survival. But for African wild dogs, it takes an unexpectedly bizarre form. Sneezing to vote. Yes, really. These animals coordinate their hunts with a method that sounds more like a family meeting than feral behavior. Deep in the savannas of Botswana, a pack gathers. Instead of growls or howls, the air fills with sharp sneezes. This isn't about illness, it's decision-making. Research from the Animal Behavior Journal in 2017 revealed that African wild dogs use these sneezes as a democratic signal. When enough pack members sneeze, it triggers a group consensus to start hunting. What's even more fascinating is how this sneeze-based quorum isn't fixed. If a dominant dog initiates the rally, fewer sneezes are needed. But if a lower-ranking member tries to get things moving, more sneezes must follow before the pack takes action. It's a flexible yet inclusive system where even the less powerful get a voice, literally. This strange but efficient method ensures energy is spent wisely. No one goes hunting unless the majority's on board. It's part of what makes African wild dogs so successful, boasting an 85% hunting success rate, far better than lions. Sneezes as a strategy? Only in the animal kingdom could such a simple sound carry so much weight. Next, meet the feathered partner that guides humans straight to honey. The African Honey Guides. What bird willingly helps humans find food, not out of training or taming, but pure instinct and cooperation? The greater honey guide might be the animal kingdom's most unlikely teammate, partnering with humans in a wild alliance you'd never expect. Native to parts of sub-Saharan Africa, this small brown bird has one remarkable habit. It guides people to hidden beehives. Using a unique brr-hum call and specific flight patterns, honey guides lead local honey hunters straight to the prize. Once humans do the risky work of breaking into the hive, the bird returns for its share, feasting on beeswax and larvae, leftovers we typically ignore. A 2016 study published in Science confirmed this remarkable collaboration. In Tanzania and Mozambique, the Yao people have relied on honey guides for generations, and their success rate doubles when following these winged guides. Even more impressive, honey guides adjust their pace if people fall behind and can be taught calls to initiate the partnership. This isn't just a weird coincidence. It's learned behavior passed down through bird generations. A cross-species alliance built on trust and reward, without domestication or control, thriving in the wild. In a world where animals often survive by deception or dominance, the honey guide stands out for its strategy: cooperation. Now, let's head back to mammals, where deer use a very different tactic in their pursuit of mates. The bloody showdown of the Sika deer. When it comes to wild animal courtship, few displays are as intense or as unsettling as the blood-streaked battles of Japan's Sika deer. These stags don't just compete for love, they bleed for it. Each autumn, the forests of Japan echo with the haunting bugle calls of male Sika deer. It's rutting season, and with it comes a violent ritual. Males engage in fierce combat, locking antlers in brutal clashes that leave faces gashed and dripping with blood. These crimson-stained visages aren't accidents, they're badges of dominance. A 2010 study in the Journal of Mammalogy confirmed what wildlife watchers in places like Nara Park have long observed: the bloodier the face, the more intimidating the deer. It's a visual signal that warns rivals and attracts potential mates. And it's not just strength that wins, swagger matters too. Stags with the most dramatic war paint often lead harems and pass on their genes. Footage from BBC Earth captures the sheer ferocity of these encounters. Fights can last for hours, and injuries aren't uncommon. Yet despite the violence, this behavior is deeply rooted in evolution. It's nature's way of selecting the strongest, boldest, and most determined suitor. While Sika deer spill blood for romance, other creatures take a more subtle approach, like the songbirds that literally sing in their sleep. Zebra finches. What could be more unusual than a bird rehearsing love songs in its sleep? For the zebra finch, nighttime isn't for rest. It's for perfecting the melody of romance. Native to the dry grasslands of Australia, male zebra finches have a fascinating nightly habit. They sing while they sleep. And no, it's not random chirping. It's a quiet but purposeful rehearsal of their courtship songs. A 2013 study published in Nature Communications discovered that these sleep songs help males fine-tune the tunes they use to attract mates. Using brain scans, researchers at the University of Chicago observed that while a zebra finch sleeps, the same neurons that fire during daytime singing activate again, almost like the brain is replaying a tape. This repetition helps them refine rhythm, tone, and phrasing, making each serenade more impressive by morning. What's even more fascinating? These birds inherit the basic melody from their fathers, but the final performance is shaped through nightly practice sessions in the brain. The better the song, the higher the finch's chances of wooing a female. So yes, these birds are literally dreaming of love songs. And unlike most dreamers, they wake up better at their craft. If zebra finches are sleep singing to find a mate, just wait until you meet the underwater creature that lights up romance, literally. Electric fish talking habit. In the animal kingdom's lineup of strange behaviors, talking through electricity is about as wild as it gets. And for Africa's electric fish, it's their everyday reality. Deep in the murky rivers of sub-Saharan Africa, where visibility is near zero, electric fish like the African knifefish have developed a sixth sense: electrolocation. These fish generate weak electric pulses from specialized organs in their bodies. But they're not just zapping randomly, they're communicating, navigating, and even flirting through electric fields.
These fish are unique in that they produce and detect electric fields, and they use these electric fields in social communication.
A 2023 Journal of Experimental Biology study revealed that these pulses vary in frequency and rhythm, depending on the fish's mood or mission. Males use distinct electric songs to impress potential mates or intimidate rivals. It's an underwater Morse code, a language of sparks that is both subtle and sophisticated. What's even more incredible? Young fish don't just inherit the ability, they learn to refine their signals over time, adding a layer of learned behavior to this already shocking skill. When sight and sound fail in muddy waters, these fish rely on a built-in electric field to see their environment and to interact with the world around them. So yes, these creatures talk in sparks and dance in pulses, turning rivers into silent discos of electric chatter. And if that doesn't jolt your expectations, wait until you meet the frog that's invisible, even in plain sight. The frog that plays poop. Budget's frog. In the wild, survival often depends on speed, strength, or sharp senses. But for the budget's frog, staying alive means perfecting the art of looking like literal poop. Yes, this South American amphibian has evolved one of the strangest defense mechanisms in the animal kingdom. It disguises itself as animal droppings. Found in the muddy swamps of Paraguay and Argentina, the budget's frog sports a rounded, lumpy body with a mottled brown skin tone that convincingly mimics feces. And for predators looking for a quick meal, this deception works wonders. A 2005 Herpetologica study noted how birds and reptiles often overlook these frogs entirely, mistaking them for inedible waste. The illusion doesn't stop with appearance. They even rest motionless in murky puddles to seal the ruse. When camouflage fails, the frog unleashes a shocking second act. It puffs up, lets out a high-pitched scream, and lunges at attackers like a tiny gremlin. The brilliance of this strategy lies in its weirdness. While other frogs hop away, the budget's frog stays put, betting on the fact that no one wants to eat what looks like poop. A frog winning the survival game by pretending to be waste? That's camouflage on a whole new level. And speaking of strange survival skills, wait until you see what certain rodents are engineering beneath the ground. Naked mole rats. In the animal kingdom, where most mammals live in small family groups or go solo, the naked mole rat defies every rule by living like ants in an underground empire ruled by a queen. These nearly hairless rodents, found in the dry regions of East Africa, are the only known eusocial mammals, meaning they organize themselves into rigid castes, just like bees or termites. At the heart of every colony is one dominant female, the queen, who monopolizes reproduction.
This is not social like a mammal. This is social like an insect, like an ant, with one queen breeding for the entire group.
According to a 1990 animal behavior study, she maintains her reign not just with power, but with pheromones that suppress the fertility of other females. Beneath the surface, it's a world of purpose. Non-breeding workers dig tunnels, harvest underground tubers, and maintain the vast burrow system that can stretch over 2 miles. Then there are the soldiers, larger, aggressive individuals who fend off predators like snakes. If a queen dies or is overthrown, brutal battles erupt until a new one rises. Their structure is so insect-like, scientists once questioned if it was even real. But it's not fantasy, it's evolutionary brilliance. Rodents running a caste-based colony beneath our feet? That's not just unusual, it's one of nature's wildest social experiments. And while mole rats reign in silence underground, our next animals wage thunderous wars in the treetops. Mating ritual in giraffes. Of all the strange behaviors in the animal kingdom, giraffes might just take the crown for turning elegance into a weapon. These towering creatures don't just use their necks for reaching treetops, they use them to win mates in brutal swinging duels, known as necking. This ritual isn't a gentle nuzzle. It's an all-out battle where male giraffes slam their long, heavy necks against one another with bone-rattling force. According to a 2008 Journal of Zoology study, these clashes can last for hours and occasionally end with one giraffe sprawled on the ground, knocked out cold. The goal? Prove who's strongest and most worthy of breeding. But there's a strategy involved too. Males don't just bludgeon wildly. They angle, posture, and deliver calculated blows, all while keeping an eye on the females nearby. The winners earn the right to mate, while the losers retreat, sometimes battered and limping. You would never expect such a majestic animal to engage in head-bashing contests, but that's evolution for you. Brutal, bizarre, and surprisingly efficient. Giraffes swinging necks like wrecking balls in a battle for romance? It's nature's version of heavyweight boxing in slow motion. And while giraffes duel in silence, our next animal lobs arms and debris in the deep sea. The gloomy octopuses. When it comes to unusual wild behavior, few creatures weaponize household trash quite like the gloomy octopus. These deep-sea cephalopods don't just defend their turf, they launch attacks with alarming precision. In the opaque waters off Australia's coast, gloomy octopuses have been caught hurling shells, silt, and algae at intruders. Not by accident, but on purpose. A 2021 Current Biology study recorded them using siphons to blast projectiles up to 2 meters away, usually targeting pesky neighbors or invading fish. And they don't throw blindly. They choose ammo, aim, and even flash warning colors before firing. It's one of the rarest displays of tool use in the ocean, especially among animals that aren't known for getting along. While most octopuses are solitary, gloomy octopuses gather in dense colonies, creating constant turf wars. So instead of wrestling with each other, they've evolved a more efficient solution: long-distance bombardment. In one wild case, a particularly cranky octopus built a wall of shell debris around its den, then reused the trash as ammo whenever someone got too close. It's like underwater dodgeball, only the players have suckers and ink. Octopuses throwing tantrums and shells? It's marine warfare at its weirdest. And speaking of odd attacks, wait till you meet the ant that has mastered compulsion and mind control like Nicholas Mickelson. The zombie ant slave masters, Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. What if mind control wasn't science fiction, but a routine survival strategy in the wild? That's exactly how the Ophiocordyceps fungus operates. Found mostly in tropical rainforests, this creepy fungus infects ants by embedding its spores into their bodies. But it doesn't just feed on them, it takes control of their minds. Once infected, the ant begins behaving strangely, leaving its colony and climbing to a high leaf or branch. There, the fungus forces the ant to clamp down with its mandibles in what's chillingly called a death grip. Then the real horror begins. The fungus kills the host from within and sprouts a long, stalk-like growth from the ant's head, releasing more spores to rain down and infect others. Scientists have called it one of the most advanced examples of parasitic manipulation on Earth. The fungus doesn't just hijack the body, it rewires the brain and nervous system to serve its life cycle. It's almost like nature wrote its own version of The Last of Us, except it's real, it's happening, and it's been going on for millions of years.
Fungus, it took over 40 million years for it to evolve and infect the ants that it infects.
Now, if you thought that was bizarre, wait until you meet an animal whose very mating ritual turns into a fatal, biological surrender. The murderous mating habits of anglerfish. Imagine a relationship so one-sided, it literally consumes you. In the pitch-black depths of the ocean, anglerfish have one of the most extreme mating behaviors in the animal kingdom. The male, tiny and underdeveloped compared to the female, exists for one reason only: to find her, latch on, and lose himself permanently.
This is the first time that he's ever been seen. He spends all of his days looking through the deep sea for his lady.
Once the male locates a female, he bites into her body, but he doesn't let go. Instead, he fuses with her flesh and bloodstream, becoming a living attachment. Over time, his eyes, brain, and organs degenerate, leaving just his testes, which the female controls. He is reduced to a reproductive vessel. No independence, no identity, just fertilization on demand. This rough fusion is nature's solution to an extreme problem, finding a mate in the vast, empty ocean. But it comes at the cost of the male's entire existence. While we often romanticize the idea of becoming one with a partner, this takes it to a disturbingly literal and biological level. So the next time someone tells you love is blind, just remember the anglerfish. For them, love doesn't just hurt, it erases you. And speaking of love gone wild, what if I told you there's a species where love is so intense, it kills the offspring outright? Cannibal hamsters. The dark side of European hamsters. Think hamsters are cute, cuddly, and harmless? Think again. In the wild, European hamsters are nothing like the gentle pets spinning wheels in cages. These guys are aggressive, territorial, and in some cases, horrifyingly cannibalistic. The most shocking part? It's not predators or enemies they go after. It's their own babies. When European hamster mothers feel stressed or threatened, be it from noise, lack of food, or environmental changes, they may turn on their offspring and devour them. Scientists believe it's a brutal form of survival strategy. If the mother senses that raising the litter could jeopardize her life or future reproductive chances, she'll cut her losses, literally. In the wild, these hamsters are solitary and fiercely protective of their turf. They will engage in violent brawls with intruders and even battle to the death over burrow space. So, while their tiny hands and twitchy noses might scream adorable, their instincts scream survivor, and they will do whatever it takes. It's a chilling contrast to the fluffy image most people associate with hamsters. Behind the pet store glass is a species with a raw, wild streak that reminds us how deceptive appearances can be in the animal kingdom. But as unsettling as cannibalism is, what happens when survival takes a backseat to one thing and one thing only? Reproduction? Let's head down under, where a tiny marsupial burns so hot for love, it quite literally dies from it. The self-destructive mating of the Australian antacinus. When mating becomes a death sentence, evolution starts to look like a bad joke. Meet the antacinus, a small mouse-like marsupial found in Australia. These little mammals are relatively quiet until breeding season hits. Then, all biological restraint goes out the window. For about 2 to 3 weeks each year, male antacinuses enter a frantic hormone-fueled mating spree. They mate non-stop with as many females as possible, often for hours at a time. But this biological frenzy comes at a steep cost. As stress hormones surge uncontrollably, their immune systems collapse, their organs shut down, and they quite literally drop dead, right after sealing the deal. This isn't an accident or anomaly, it's how the species was designed.
Despite their suicidal sex tendencies, the species is still going strong.
Scientists call it semal parity, meaning the males are built to reproduce once and never again. It's the ultimate sacrifice for the next generation. Go hard, die young, and leave behind a genetic legacy. What's even more bizarre? Females live on, raise the young, and do it all again the next year, with a fresh batch of doomed suitors. Nature has effectively weaponized desire in these creatures, creating a cycle where love leads to death every single time. But just when you think biology couldn't get any more ruthless, imagine being a mother who breeds her children and then dies for them just like their savior. Octopus moms that starve themselves to death. Giant Pacific octopus. In the depths of the ocean, one mother's love turns into a slow and silent sacrifice. Meet the giant Pacific octopus, an 8-armed marvel known not just for its intelligence, but for one of the most heartbreaking reproductive behaviors in the animal kingdom. After laying tens of thousands of eggs, the mother octopus enters what scientists call a self-destruct mode. She stops eating entirely. Her once agile body becomes frail. Her radiant color fades. All she does is guard her clutch, 24/7, fending off predators, constantly tending the eggs with gentle waves of water to keep them oxygenated. She doesn't leave, she doesn't hunt, and she doesn't rest. Even when food swims past her, she won't reach out. Her entire being becomes singularly focused on ensuring the survival of her future offspring. Eventually, her body shuts down. She dies shortly after her babies hatch, if she makes it that far. Researchers believe this tragic ending is driven by hormonal changes from a gland that triggers the death spiral. It's one of nature's most extreme examples of maternal devotion, where giving life comes at the price of losing one's own. And just when you think nature can't surprise you any further, let's head to Indonesia, where one of Earth's most ancient reptiles can reproduce without ever mating. That's right, virgin births are real, and this creature has cracked the code. Komodo dragons' virgin births. Evolution's backup plan. Imagine reproducing without a partner and still creating living, breathing, walking offspring. It's not science fiction. It's just another Tuesday in the life of a female Komodo dragon. This ancient reptile, native to Indonesia's remote islands, possesses a rare ability called parthenogenesis. When no males are around, a female can lay eggs that hatch into healthy babies, all on her own. There's a catch though. All the offspring will be male. While that might sound like a glitch, it's actually a clever evolutionary strategy. In isolated environments where mates are scarce, this ensures the population doesn't die out. The male hatchlings can later mate with their mother or siblings, re-establishing a breeding population and preventing extinction. It's biology's emergency backup system, a remarkable feat that allows Komodo dragons to keep surviving against all odds. And it's not just a fluke. This form of asexual reproduction has been observed in captivity and confirmed through genetic testing. What's even more fascinating is how this behavior ties into the dragon's overall resilience. These apex predators can take down animals 10 times their size, resist disease, and now, apparently, ditch traditional mating when it suits them. But the wild doesn't stop evolving there. What if we told you there's a creature that changes its entire gender just to reproduce, and does it more than once in its lifetime? Up next, meet the ultimate biological shapeshifter, the gender-swapping fish, clownfish. What if your entire identity could change just because someone above you vanished? In the underwater world of clownfish, gender isn't fixed. It's fluid, hierarchical, and surprisingly strategic. All clownfish are born male, but within their sea anemone homes, they operate under a strict social structure. At the top, a dominant female, the only one allowed to mate. Below her is the largest male, her exclusive partner. Beneath them are smaller, non-breeding males, each waiting for their chance to rise in rank. Here's where it gets wild. If the female dies or disappears, the dominant male transforms into a female, literally changing sex. Then, the next male in line moves up to become her mate. It's nature's built-in succession plan. This gender-switching ability is called sequential hermaphroditism, and it's not rare in the ocean, but the clownfish takes it to theatrical levels. It's also the part Finding Nemo conveniently left out. If it were biologically accurate, Marlin would have turned into Nemo's mom. Scientists believe this adaptation evolved to maximize reproductive success in environments where mates are limited. It ensures the group can always sustain itself, even with the loss of its top female. But while clownfish rewrite the rules of biology beneath the waves, up in the sky, another natural marvel unfolds. Imagine hundreds of thousands of birds, swirling in perfect formation without a single collision or command. Coming up next, we unravel the hypnotic mystery of the starling murmuration, a performance so flawless, it leaves scientists and spectators speechless. The synchronized swarmers, starlings, murmuration. At first glance, it looks like smoke dancing through the sky. But look closer, and you'll see tens of thousands of birds moving as one. This mesmerizing display is called a murmuration, and it's one of nature's most captivating mysteries. European starlings, those small, seemingly ordinary birds, can form flocks of over 100,000 individuals. But what's truly mind-bending is how they swirl, swoop, and shimmer in perfect harmony, without a single leader. There's no conductor, no captain, no GPS. Yet the entire flock responds in real time, dodging predators, shifting directions, and changing shape like a living cloud. Scientists have tried to crack the code, and the answer lies in something called scale-free correlation. Each starling watches and reacts to the movement of the 6 or 7 birds closest to it. The result? Instantaneous coordination across the entire flock. Even more impressive? These movements happen in milliseconds, allowing the murmuration to adapt and ripple through the group like a wave. Some researchers say it's as close as nature comes to visual jazz. Unpredictable, flowing, and wildly beautiful. Murmurations often appear just before sunset, painting the sky with patterns that seem to defy physics. It's not just a safety maneuver, it's performance, survival, and social bonding all rolled into one. From the air to the land, we're heading back into the animal kingdom's emotional depths, where the largest land mammal mourns their dead in ways that feel hauntingly human. Elephants holding funerals. Loxodonta africana. Grief isn't exclusive to humans, and elephants might just prove it better than anyone. In the heart of Africa's savannas and forests, elephants have been observed doing something astonishing, mourning their dead. When a member of their herd dies, they don't just move on. They pause, they gather, and they remember. Researchers have documented herds returning to the bones or resting places of fallen family members, gently caressing the remains with their trunks. They will stand in silence, even swaying slightly, as if reflecting. Some linger for hours, refusing to leave. Others have been seen covering the body with dirt or leaves, a bizarre parallel to human burial rituals. What's even more touching? These gentle giants show emotional responses when encountering the bones of non-relatives too, suggesting a broader capacity for empathy. Calves mourn their mothers. Matriarchs seem to recognize the passing of past leaders, and in rare cases, elephants have been known to return to the same site year after year. Elephants are incredibly intelligent, with strong family bonds and rich social structures. Their funerals are just one window into a deeply emotional world that science is still trying to fully understand. But while elephants mourn their dead, another creature is busy defying life's physical boundaries. Imagine a fish that can breathe air, walk on land, and even climb trees literally. It sounds like a fantasy, but it's real. The fish that climbs trees. Climbing perch. What if we told you there's a fish that doesn't stay in water? One that can breathe air, walk on land, and might even scale a tree trunk if it feels like it. Meet the climbing perch, a fish that's rewriting every rule we thought we knew about aquatic life. Native to Southeast Asia and parts of Australia, the climbing perch is about the size of your hand. But don't let its size fool you. This fish is an escape artist and a survival machine. It has a special organ called the labyrinth, which lets it breathe oxygen straight from the air. No water required. When the ponds and rivers it calls home dry up, the climbing perch doesn't panic. It packs up and walks. Using its strong pectoral fins, it drags itself across land, sometimes for hours, in search of a new water source. Some reports even suggest it can climb sloping surfaces and tree roots, earning its name. Its ability to survive out of water for up to 6 days makes it a biological wonder and a nightmare for ecosystems where it doesn't belong. In fact, some countries have labeled it an invasive species due to its adaptability and hardiness. The climbing perch blurs the line between fish and amphibian, showing us just how wild evolution can get when survival is at stake. It's a wrap from us, but what a wild ride it's been. From birds leading humans on honey hunts to frogs faking poop to dodge predators, nature truly writes the weirdest and most brilliant stories. These creatures don't just survive, they innovate, using everything from electric signals to flying poop missiles to stake their claim in the animal kingdom. Whether it's for love, lunch, or life itself, these bizarre behaviors prove that evolution doesn't just favor the strong, it favors the clever, the sneaky, and the downright strange. Which one shocked you the most? Was it the deer drenched in blood for romance, or the fish throwing sparks in the dark? Drop your favorite in the comments section. We would love to know. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.